Big Red, otherwise known as Milwaukee, is everywhere these days, and their popularity has only risen in recent years. Unfortunately, so have their prices. A new blue competitor has entered the arena and challenged the king at around $600 less. So I'm going to pit the two brands against each other, reveal who this mystery competitor is, and price out setups for each, so I can let you know once and for all if you really do have to buy once, cry once, or can you save some dough while still going pro. I have to work on that pun a little bit, but let's get started. The red power tools with the lightning bolt have been iconic for over 100 years since they first introduced the popular and lightweight hole shooter drill back in 1918. Fast forward 99 years, the power tool landscape looks much different. Power tools have never been better across the price spectrum, and less expensive brands are punching well above their weight more than ever before. In 2017, Harbor Freight launched one of these challenger brands, Hercules, and they hit the scene with rave reviews, even converting some Harbor Freight skeptics into early adopters. Now, the best place to start with a fresh tool setup is typically a drill driver combo. These are often the only combo kits really worth considering because you get a good deal on essential tools, plus you get some batteries and a charger to get started on a new platform. The Hercules drill packs a very healthy 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. Not to be outdone though, raw power is kind of Milwaukee's thing and has been for a while. Their fuel hammer drill that comes in this kit packs a whopping 1,400 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's absolutely insane, and it's kind of the most foot-pounds of torque you can really buy. Now, to be clear, you don't really need a hammer drill for woodwork. It is nice to have that headway and that breathing room if you're driving a lot of large diameter bits like Forstners, but these two kits are the best apples to apples comparison between the two brands. Now, the Hercules impact driver edges out the Milwaukee actually with 1,200 foot-pounds. The Milwaukee only has 1,000. To be clear, these numbers don't really tell the whole story. You can easily find YouTube videos of speed comparisons with all these different brands, and Milwaukee is probably going to edge out Hercules and probably most other brands when it comes to pure speed. And if you're on a job site drilling hundreds of screws a day, that could make a huge difference. If you're in the shop as a woodworker, for most of us, the difference is going to be negligible. Despite the insane power numbers, these two are going to perform very similarly on a day-to-day basis, and I think you'll be happy with the performance of either. Now, one thing worth noting in the Milwaukee's corner is they do have electronic anti-kickback safety features, which is really up to you whether that's worth paying double the cost for. Woodworkers have been using drills for a very long time, just fine with proper technique. But of course, I'd welcome the upgrade in the future for Hercules. I do think it's a great advancement. For me, I think Hercules takes round one. Next up, we're going to talk about saws, and we're going to consolidate an array of saws into this category, starting with what I think is the most essential one, and the saw that I think most new woodworkers should buy when getting into the hobby, and that's a trusty circular saw. The one we'll be using for this price comparison are the standard 7 1/4 brushless models from each brand. Coming at $100, the Hercules saw is actually one of the great brushless values in the tool world today. For context, that's $50 cheaper than even the Ryobi HP brushless circular saw of the same size. And for Milwaukee, we're going to go with the standard brushless M18 model, not the fuel in this case, clocking in at $230. So you might think that this bang for the buck race is over right there. The Milwaukee is double the price again of the Hercules. But it's really not that simple, because when you buy a cordless tool, you're not just buying a tool, you're buying into a platform. And when it comes to saws, Milwaukee makes a serious case for your dollar. If you're a cordless guy like I am, you will love the fact that you can get a cordless 10-inch miter saw or a cordless track saw, which you may or may not need. If you saw my last video on straight edges, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's awesome that they have it. And you can even get an 8 1/4 inch cordless table saw. If you work in your driveway or in a powerless shed or outside like I do, this is a game changer. Having this breadth of options is awesome. Not to mention the fact that I think saws is a category where you generally want to spend up a little bit to get quality. The end quality of your projects is going to be more affected by the quality of your cuts more than most other tools, arguably. So round two for the best value saw platform is actually going to come as a surprise to some. Milwaukee is going to take round two. Now let's talk routers, and Hercules comes in strong with a ridiculously priced $70 brushless trim router. That's insane. Maybe even concerningly low price, to be honest with you. For context, the brushed Ryobi router, not even the HP brushless version, is $100. I think Hercules generally does a really good job of picking and choosing which corners to cut to try and get to a lower price point. But when it comes to tools that spin sharp metal bits that are fully exposed while you're using them, it gives me a little bit of pause, to be honest with you. Hercules makes some questionable design decisions, like having a 2-button on-off layout. As far as ease of use goes, this would drive me absolutely crazy. I like to have a button that you can press easily without looking at it, because personally when I'm using a router, I want to be focused completely on the business end of things at all times. The Milwaukee competitor is obviously going to be more expensive, coming in at $230, but for that price, it does address some of the sins committed by Hercules. It has a button layout that should be much easier to use in practice, with the added benefit of having 250 feet of stated runtime versus 100 for the Hercules. So battery life should be much of an issue with the Milwaukee. Even if you're only routing small pieces, it means that you'll have more juice left over in your batteries when you switch over to another tool. But what I think is a really killer feature of the Milwaukee is the option to add a plunge base. That adds a ton of versatility if you're all in on cordless platforms. So here's another case where I think Milwaukee honestly does make a case for itself, and Milwaukee is going to take round 3. Now, if you're a bargain hunter like me, you're probably pretty surprised by the results so far, with Milwaukee in the lead. So let's see if Hercules can put up a fair fight when it comes to random orbital sanders. Hercules enters this round with another insane deal at $55 for a brushless orbital sander. Without any spinning blades, I'm not feeling as suspicious of this deal, to be honest with you. And by all accounts, you're going to get competent dust collection for a great price. I think there's a lot of diminishing returns when it comes to sander dust collection. The really low-end stuff, you're going to have a really bad time with. It's going to leave a lot of dust on the surface and move really slowly through projects. The stuff on the very high end, like Festool and 3M, can legitimately make claims to being industry leading when it comes to dust collection, which could make a big difference. But of course, you pay a very high price tag for it. Random orbital sanders are a very mature tool category at this point, so there's this mid-level sweet spot where most brands live that you're going to get competent dust collection with pretty much any known brand that you find. Now, the Milwaukee falls into the high end price-wise at $230, but I'm not convinced based on what I've seen that it's going to make a world of difference. And when it comes to the performance itself, I'm not sure it's in that very high end like Festool or 3M. Now, to be clear, Milwaukee is great at a lot of things, but they do not claim to be a dust collection specialist like some of those higher end brands are. Plus, it's worth considering that they also commit their own design sins when it comes to this model. It uses a back-mounted battery design, which I know is gaining a lot of popularity recently, but to my eye and to my hand, the whole thing is just awkward and unbalanced. And I've seen a lot of concern from people about putting a battery in here and then it being really back heavy and not sitting flush on the workpiece. And of course, a lot of people respond with, well, just use smaller batteries, use a 3 amp hour, but compromising on your battery choice for a specific tool, to me, is just not good design. If you prefer this design or you know why manufacturers are going this direction, please feel free to leave a comment. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way, and I'd love to have a conversation about where orbital sanders seem to be going. So if you couldn't tell by now, I'm pretty lukewarm on spending up for the Milwaukee in this specific case. So this final round is going to go to Hercules. So the final results are in. If you went all in on the Milwaukee tools we discussed, you're spending a healthy $1,116, $223 per tool. With the Hercules, you're looking at a grand total of $475, $95 per tools. So for the first time in one of these tool battles, the best buy price fight is going to be a tie. There's no one size fits all answer when it comes to tools. If you have the cash, the expanded lineup, and the brand reputation for durability over a longer period of time, the Milwaukee is not likely to disappoint. If you're looking for a compelling pro-grade platform at a more approachable price, the Hercules is also a great option, and the compromises that you do give up for the price, I think will be just fine for a lot of people. It's just a matter of personal preference and budget. And that actually makes sense to me, especially if you've seen my recent tier ranking video. This battle is going to inform my upcoming tier list. I'll be updating it every year or so make sure you subscribe for that. On your way out, leave a like, hit that bell icon, and let me know in the comments, are you team red or team blue in this case? And as always, no matter what color your tools are, enjoy the build. Thanks for watching.